you know, sometimes it's just really nice to just relax. So I thought this practice will be a really gentle relaxation practice. I've got 2 bricks, a blanket, a bolster and a belt, and yeah, if you've got those things, great. Otherwise you can modify with some cushions, a couple of bed pillows maybe, beach towel, up to you. So let's start with the opposite cross of the legs that we usually do, because we all are creatures of habit. And then as you sit down, just balance out your buttock bones, and you want to feel that your spine is ascending. Relax down through the skin of the body, release the tongue and close the eyes. And just take a few moments just to observe how you're sitting. Are there any areas that are holding tight, particularly for you? If there are, just observe them, notice their space, and then see if there's any micro movements that you can do that allow yourself to release any tension in and around that area. And then start to breathe and observe your breathing body. And lengthen your exhalations. As you inhale, lengthen the sides of the waist up. As you exhale, relax the shoulders. If your back is tired and you're feeling like you need some support, you can just release your hands to either side of your body and use your arms to allow the sides of the trunk to be lifted a little more energetically, so the arms give the spine some support. It doesn't have to be stressful. You just place the fingertips down, cupped fingers, bend the elbows back, let the heart be lifted. Relax the skin around the eyes. So release the eyelids and let the eyes rest down on the pillows of the cheeks. Observe the inhalation and the exhalation. As the heart lifts, keep the shoulders releasing away from the ears. Keep the lumbar spine beautifully open and long. Relax the thighs. If you wish to continue sitting like this, you can do so. If you wish to do 3 Oms with me, then if you'd like to bring your hands into prayer position in front of the chest, roll those collarbones back so the shoulder blades move in to support the back chest a little bit more. You're going to inhale. As you exhale, at the end of the exhalation, swallow your saliva. Inhale. Breathing in. Breathing in. Release the hands down. Bow the head to the heart. Open the eyes and raise the face. Change across of your legs. Interlace the fingers, just push the palms away. Now if you find this is too much in your wrists, then you can hold one hand to hold the wrist, okay? Otherwise, interlace the fingers, push the palms away and raise the arms up, stretch up. So you could be lengthening the arm like this, making sure that you're really straightening the wrist of the arm of the wrist that you're holding. Turn the palms down, change the interlace so it's the other order of digits and finger pits, and push the palms away. And so if your wrists don't enjoy this movement, or you find that they're being stopped by the stiffness of the wrists, let one hand hold the wrist and stretch the other arm up. I'm hoping the road's not too noisy for you. Feel how you've lifted the rib cage away from your hips, away from the pelvis, and then just release the arms down. Breathe towards the back of the ribs. Let the breath be wide and smooth. Okay, so the next pose is Adho Mukha Svanasana. So just start just lying on your tummy. Have your hands just back so your hands are in line with your chest and the toes are tucked under. Come up onto your knees. Look down at the floor, just check that your knees are in line with your wrists, and your feet are in line again with your wrists and your knees. And then just lift up. And I want you to just find that place where you feel like your dog head down is just there for you. So you want to let the energy come down into the back of the legs. So the back of the legs become a little wider. The top of the thighs lift up to the hips. The kneecaps are tight. And you feel that you're connected through the whole of the leg energetically in one long line, rather than two broken lines where maybe the bottom feels like it's stretching more than the legs. Lift your tailbone away from the spine to lengthen the spine more. Once you've made the dog head down shape, just release the back of the neck down. Keep the arms nice and strong and the legs strong. Let the back of the neck go. Feel that where the neck connects to the skull, that area feels wide and broad and smooth. You can decide how long you want to stay here. When you've had enough, just bend the knees if it's appropriate for your knees. Place the knees to the floor, maybe with some padding underneath. And just come into pose the child, or the forward-facing hero pose. So you just bend the knees, you rest your bottom on your heels. If that's not appropriate for you, you can always lie on your back and cuddle your knees in close. So if you're not sure what to do, you can just bend the knees, you can look at the screen, bend your knees, come onto all fours, bring the big toes together, either keeping the hands forwards or back. Rest the head down. You can decide, you can take the arms back, see how that feels. You can also, it's very nice actually to take the elbows wide and rest one hand above the other and then have your forehead releasing there, because that allows the bottom to release back a little bit more. And you can change the height by just separating the elbows wider, and the fingers will come down and you find your sweet spot. So I've got my finger knuckles over each other and I'm resting my forehead on there. A couple of breaths here. Okay, then when you're ready, let's come back up again. So come up onto all fours, Chaturangasana. Feet back, toes under, lift the hips, charge your arms, roll the fingers towards the thumb back towards the fingers, and then press into the hands to the hips to lift them up nice and high. And then take the thighs back, center of the thighs back. Breathe. Adjust where necessary. Release down through the back of the neck, so it's as if the crown of the head is releasing down towards the floor. And again, you're in charge of how long you hold Adho Mukha Svanasana for. Adho is down, Mukha is face, Shvan is dog. Asan is pose, or to feel comfortable within. If you want to release down, release down. If you're happy here for a couple more breaths, stay. And then when you're ready, come forwards, bend the knees, bring the big toes together, and stretch back again. Bending your elbows out wide if that was something that was working for you. Having the arms long if that feels like it's giving you a length of spine that's required, length of the sides of the waist that's required. Or having the palms facing up, back by your feet. Balasana, pose of the child. We'll do it one more time. Come forwards. Shoulders over the hands, tuck the toes under, lift the hips up, straightening up through the legs, press those thighs back. Thighs nice and strong, spine nice and long, head and neck beautifully relaxed. Breathe. Relax the skin around the eyes, release the cheeks so that your face is in Shavasana. Relax the brain. Relax the hair on the scalp. Sometimes that's easier to think about relaxing than relaxing the brain. Just be so aware of the breath and the work in the arms and the legs. Letting the neck go. Couple more breaths unless you're ready to come out. And then bend the knees. Rest back one more time. Adho Mukha Virasana. Arms forwards. Resting with the head on the hands. If you're back to doing that again, you've done it a few times, make sure you're changing the cross of the hands, the one that's on top. Or Balasana, head comes down and the arms come back by the side. So you might go to one and then go, actually, that one's not suiting me. So you change. Face in Shavasana. And we're going to come to Uttanasana. We're going to go via Adho Mukha Svanasana. Uttanasana is the forward bend. Adho Mukha Svanasana is the dog head down. So if you'd like to just come forwards and into your Adho Mukha Svanasana.
Come onto your feet, get your feet on the floor. If you need to bend the knees, bend the knees. Walk your hands back. Clasp the elbows, Uttanasana. If I just turn around, you want to have the back of the neck nice and long, shoulders broad, so the arms are as if they're framing your face, like it's a portrait photo. It's also very nice sometimes to build up some soft support so your head can actually rest onto that support. So if I was going to do that, I'd take a brick. And then on that brick, I'd put it down and put another brick. And then on there, I'd put my blanket. And for me, that's the perfect support. Now this is demonstrated in Path to Holistic Health by BKS Iyengar. You can have the hands either side and then you can actively draw the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, look forwards. We're going to place the hands down. We're going to come into Prasarita Padottanasana, the wide leg forward bend. So step your feet wide. And to begin with, just lengthen forwards. Now, again, your head is down, all right? So in order to do that, you want to maybe have a bolster here or some height. So if you're very tight in the hamstrings, you can just stay with the head coming forwards and then rest the forehead onto some height like this. Okay, and you can just be here again, making sure the mind is quiet, face is soft, eyes are quiet, tongue's passive. That's Shavasana face again. However, if your head goes down, it's still nice to have some support. So you find out what support you require. You get a nice length. You keep those legs working. So although we're trying to sort of relax in the pose, the body should still be able to work whilst the mind is being relaxed. So you can walk the hands back, the feet come in, hands come in line with the feet. Again, lengthen up through the arms, and then release the head down. Now for me, my head happily reaches the floor. So I just come forwards. I'll remove the blanket and lengthen the back of my neck down towards the floor. Elbows moving towards each other directly over the wrists, shoulders moving away from the ears, kneecaps lifted. Again, the face is completely soft. A couple of breaths here. Legs firm. If you're getting a discomfort on the inner knees, come up, move your feet in towards each other a little. The aim is not to make the pose maximum, it's optimum and for an optimal state of relaxation. Breathe. Keep the legs working, keep the arches lifted, toes soft, there's no gripping in those toes. Inhale, look forwards. Lengthen. Heel and toe the feet in towards each other. And just come back to your Uttanasana. Palms facing up. Back of the neck long, shoulders away from the ears. If you find that that's hard to let go of the neck there, cup the fingers. Release the head down. So this is Uttanasana. Raise the head. So you're going to come back to your dog head down now. So spin around. If you're facing the long ways of your mat, so you're on the short end of your mat. Dog head down, bend the knees, Adho Mukha Virasana. So if the back is a little tired now, let's sit up. And I want you to just turn your bolster around. So you're going to sit on the short end of the mat and just stretch your legs forwards. Okay. You're going to bring your legs around to your left side for Bharavajasana 1. So the ankle of your left foot goes onto the arch of the right foot. The knees come directly forwards. Sit tall and just a very gentle twist. Lifting the heart and relaxing the shoulders. Look over your right shoulder. Crown of the head ascending away from the tailbone. I've noticed my voice is going very quiet, so maybe I need to speak up just a little bit more. So lift up through the spine and relax those shoulders down. Turn the head, bring the body back to center and straighten your legs. As I'm teaching, I'm getting more and more chilled. Now, left leg around by the right hip, right leg on top of the arch, or the right ankle on top of the arch of the left foot, and then lift and turn. Look over your left shoulder. Breathe. Back of the neck long. Have it feeling as if the skin on the bridge of the nose is releasing down. So the chin isn't lifted too high, and that keeps the length on the back of the neck. And then come back to center. First side again, stretch the legs forwards. Right leg around by the left hip. Left leg bent. Ankle resting on the arch. Go tall. Exhale, turn to your right. Looking over that right shoulder. Roll that right shoulder back. Keep the left side of the chest beautifully open. Breathe. Feel that you're lifting the breath into both sides of the chest, so that both sides of the body can be irrigated with the breath. And turn the head to come back to center, and turn the body second side. You can always do this pose on a chair if you're finding that you can't sit on a bolster. If you're sitting this one out, you can Google chair Bharavajasana and it'll show you, and or message me and I'll send you some pictures. That's absolutely fine. So I've whipped my legs around to the other side without talking you through it. Whip your legs around to the other side too. Lift up through the chest, look over your left shoulder and let the breath irrigate all areas of your chest. Let the diaphragm move, let the body feel fluid. If you take yourself into the maximum rotation, you may well feel slightly stuck. So you want to just back off that maximum space and just come to that place where you can breathe. And you can really feel the pose nourishing your cells. One more breath here. And then come back to center and just stretch those legs forwards. As you stretch those legs forwards, we've just done some rotations. So if you've got a brick, just take the brick between your thighs, stretch the heels, grip the brick together and use your hands behind you on the bolster to roll those shoulders back and to lift the front and the back of the chest up. If you want extra work, again we can stretch the arms over the head and lift those back ribs away from the kidney area.
Lower the arms down. Change, interlace the fingers, push the palms away, and the same thing again. Raise those arms up. And then release. Okay, come off your height. We're going to do Adho. No, we're not. We're going to do. Oh, my brain's just completely gone. We're going to do. I'll just have to tell it. A wide leg forward bend. My brain has just completely lost it. That's so funny. Okay, be careful because you might become so relaxed that your brain actually stops thinking. Upavista Konasana. It came as soon as I stopped worrying about it. Now, when I sit in Upavista Konasana, I like to have my blanket, so it's like this, and then I fold it like an aeroplane. Okay? And then if the blanket allows, sometimes some of them don't, you fold it again. But it just means that you've got a nice, even square to sit on. Yeah, if you fold it in half the normal way, you end up with one thick ridge and one slimmer ridge. And then my buttocks will sit on this area here. So that's going to come behind me. If you need more height, please take more height. And if you need to go forwards to a chair, let yourself go forwards to a chair. Now the legs are wide, so we've just had the legs together. And you felt how it was really nice to get that length through your legs there. So you want that same sensation coming out through your legs here. Again, you need enough height that you feel comfortable. So here I've got these 2 bricks and I've got my bolster. So I'm just going to put the bricks in front of the bolster. You might be happy going forwards and sitting flat. If that's comfortable for you, then that's fine. For me today, I don't want to put too much pressure on my body. So bolster's in, body is down. I'm going to put one hand on top of the other, stretch my legs, and release the head down. And if you feel like you need more support, you can always put your hands underneath the bolster and rest down that way because it brings the bolster up just a little bit more. Keep the back of the neck long, shoulders away from the ears. Suck the heels back into the hips, and that will enable the forward bend to come a little better. Spread out through those toes, widen the toes. And have the toes stretching, reaching straight up. Facing Shavasana. Breathe. And when you're ready, inhale, come up. Take some breaths and see how you feel. So we've done a forward bend. So then again, just to release the spine, carefully remove your bolster. You can put a brick behind you if required. Sit tall, use your arms to support your body. Okay, we're going to turn to the right. So you just bring the left hand in front, right hand behind, and admire your right foot. Keep your awareness though through that left foot. And then come back to center, sit tall. Really keep those legs, thighs drawn up. Second side. Hand behind you, right hand in front. Be aware of the body, both sides, the lift through the sides of the waist. And then come back to center. Okay, and so this time, if you want to just make the pose a little bit deeper, you can open out the legs a little more if it's suitable. And you're just going to use the hands and just walk those hands forwards just to see how the pose has come. And release the head down. And you might find that you want to rest your head on something. If that's the case, you can take a brick, a block, come back and get your bolster carefully. Don't ever stay in a pose and pull props around. It's not very wise. So you can see I've got my brick up on its end. My forehead is resting on it here.
Take 3 or 4 breaths. And then walk the hands back. Press into the hands. Inhale.
Come up. Bring the legs together. So if you put your hands underneath the back of the knee, I just realised what I did, and you can pull those legs up if that's required. Otherwise, just leaning back a little bit, it'll allow the legs to release. Swastikasana. Okay, so I suggest just sitting on a small height. Bring the hands so the palms face out and just get a bit of a lift. Take some breaths here and just see how comfortable your spine feels. If you want to take Jnana Mudra, the thumb and the index finger come together and the fingers extend. Make sure that you have a good support energetically, internally around the hips, so that the lower back isn't trying to do the lift itself. Tighten the elbows a little so you can release the back of the neck. One more breath. And release the hands either side of the hips. Release your legs out and do the opposite cross. Fingertips down, shoulder blades deep into the back. Balance out your buttock bones so you're sitting evenly on the edges of your buttock bones. Release the hands so the palms face out onto the knees. Lift the sides of the ribs. Tighten the elbows. Take Jnana Mudra if you enjoy that sensation through the hands. Relax the face. One more breath. Release the hands down. We're going to just do a little rotation, Parivrtta Sukhasana, turn to the right. Very gentle. If you turn the palm out, you'll find that you'll be able to energetically connect into the shoulder blade a little bit more. And come back to center. Sit tall. Second side. Having the palm in, holding the knee if you feel like you need that physical support, or turning the palm out if you want to feel the support more of the shoulder blade. It changes. And then come back to center. Sit tall. Release the legs forwards. Bend the legs up. You're going to come to lying down on your mat. It's really nice to have just a folded blanket underneath the back of the head, just to support the skull. When you go to lie down, it's better really to lie down with bent legs. And then you can stretch both legs away. Supta Padangusthasana 1. And just let that leg come to right angles. Hold the belt separately with 2 hands. Admire your toes. And just observe that the soles on both feet are awake, alive, and breathing. So you can breathe, you can take your mind into the soles of the feet as you inhale. Energy right to the toes and the heels, and exhale. You need your head comfortably supported, so you want to make sure that the blanket is just close to your shoulders so that the neck isn't hanging in space. Throat passive, eyes passive. You got it, Shavasana face. On your next exhale, just release your right leg down and compare the 2 legs in Shavasana. So let the feet flop out and then roll those legs in and change legs. So you can pop your left foot into the belt, take your right foot out and raise that left leg up, just again to 90 degrees. Tighten the kneecap. That doesn't mean pushing the kneecap back, but you just allow the grip to be around the kneecap so that grip will then penetrate the thigh and the thigh will be drawn in towards the hip. It should feel as if your tailbone is in the center and that there's no pressure. If you're struggling to get your knee to 90 degrees, let it go back. You want the leg to feel long and whole, not stressed. Okay? So a nice long leg here. I've got the belt on my heel. It brings a better awareness to my pelvic area. And when the abdomen and the pelvic area feels tension-free, oftentimes the mind is much more ready to release, let go of any tension as well. Observe the breath. Face muscles soft. Ears listening deeply inside. Eyes releasing down. Gita had the most beautiful way of saying, allow the eyes to behave as if they're trying to look from the ears to feel as if they're listening from the eyes. Let the tongue sleep. And then release. So that pose was asymmetrical, as you know. So just to bring just a little bit of symmetry to the body, if your brick is nearby, or if you've got a rolled towel or something, just step up the feet. Bring the inner thighs to hold the brick or the rolled towel. Connect the feet down to the floor. Lengthen the buttock flesh away from the thighs so the buttocks release away from the lower back. If the buttocks raise up towards the lower back, they can put pressure there. When the buttocks have freedom to move away from the back, you're less likely to invite back problems. And then if you want to have a bolster underneath the backs of your knees, bring the bolster in. Let the legs release over. Take a soft cloth for your eyes. Put anything, if you need to get warm, get warm. Palms face up, a little away from the body. Let the legs become heavy. Let the breath become quiet, lengthening your exhales. Shavasana face. Shavasana abdomen. Shavasana legs. Shavasana arms. Shavasana body. Shavasana breath. Shavasana mind. Let yourself settle completely, release completely, relax completely. I'm taking myself out of Shavasana now, but that doesn't mean you need to. So stay, stay, stay. Either enjoy going to bed, enjoy your next meal, or enjoy the rest of your day. When it's time to get up, carefully, reverentially roll to your right side. So you roll the thighs in, bend up the legs, and turn to your side with love, compassion, and care. When you're ready to sit up and take a few moments just sitting in your own vahana. Vahana is the Sanskrit word for vehicle, the name of our body. Bring the hands to Namaskarasana. Lift the heart and bow down the head. Thank you.